could take our jackets off, and it'd be like a really strange jump cut. Like there's no continuity.
Do you want to trade jackets?
Now, I tell you what, if you stick around to the end of this pod, Joanna and I are going to trade jackets just to see the fit.
Just to see a big jacket.
This is terrible. We can't post this, right? Just to see.
I predict.
So anyway, like we were talking about, when did fanny packs come back? Because that fanny packs were anathema for years.
Yes.
And I know, because I was called out many a time.
Yeah. So I recall them coming back specifically when Lily was in middle school, which would have been 6 years ago, 7 years ago, something like that. And the reason I found out is because she was going on a Disney trip. And she was like, I want a fanny pack. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? She's like, I was like, we don't do those. We all decided collectively many years ago we don't do those.
People wear those fanny packs.
But then like Lululemon started making them, so then they're cute. And then I don't know if you noticed, girls start wearing them across, which is how I chose to wear mine, which is actually really great because like I had the keys clipped on the top and like it was very accessible. But I mean, I don't know that they're back, but they are acceptable.
So you can. I feel like they're all the way back.
People are not gonna. Most people are not gonna.
Jared, do you own a fanny pack?
Sarah has.
His wife has one.
Sarah's a big fanny pack.
Okay.
Girl.
So my wife actually did this. I think it was just last year, and she was like so tired of having the canonical huge purse, and she was like, I'm not doing this anymore. She retired that. Bought a fanny pack off of Amazon, and that's what she uses.
They're very convenient. They are, and I've started using mine more regularly for the gym. Because if I don't, then I've got like my keys, water bottle. But if I have a fanny pack, I can literally, even the water bottle, I can just like put it.
Oh, really? That must be a small water bottle.
Yeah, it's not like the Stanley.
Talk to me.
Barrel.
Okay, I like this because usually you end up questioning me, and
I am going to do that.
Well, we'll see how long I can stall. Prayers for Pastor, by the way. He's on his way to Europe as we speak. Big tour that he's taken a lot of people on in Rome. Do you say tour or tour?
I say tour.
Tour. I don't. I keep going back and forth. Anyway, so he's heading out there. I'm sure you'll see a bunch of updates from. You can follow him or Miss Debbie on Facebook, especially. They do a lot of cool videos. He does a lot of historical content. We'll see him back in a little while. Anyway, so usually we get to this place.
I need to watch this real quick. I was looking at the pronunciation for you. You know, there's that guy that apparently sits in his studio 24/7.
Go ahead, give us what is it? It's
tour makes. It's an ad, so hold on.
Tour. Some people, Dylan, how do you pronounce T-O-U-R? Tour.
He's from the South.
We are looking at how to pronounce
Remember
this
this guy?
word in English. How do you go about saying it? Tour. Pretty straightforward.
Okay.
We're all wrong. It's tour.
Yeah, so anyway, Pastor's on a 2-week tour in Rome. That sounds like Inspector Clouseau.
Yes, it does.
He will not answer his phone, but he is in Rome.
I like that.
It's pretty good. Whatever that was sounds perfect. So,
we're going to get a lot of feedback.
So
today.
here's the other thing. We talked about the fanny pack thing. Can we talk about the water bottle thing?
Yes. Why is it so ridiculous and out of control? Is that what you want to talk about?
Is that how you feel about it?
I mean, yeah.
So.
And I'll tell you the main reason is because we have enough of them in our house that we actually have a storage problem solely based on Stanley Cups.
1,000%. So, only on Stanley Cup, only on that particular brand.
Well, not that
the Stanley
that
like
size.
That
there are
size,
several Stanley Cups, but
there's
just that
a straw.
size in general. It's like, where are you supposed to keep these when you're not actually using them? So we've actually built a shed in our backyard exclusively for water bottles and Stanley Cups.
Wow! I'm surprised the HOA was okay with that.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
And I thought you guys are moving soon, so is that just up the property value to have the Stanley shed?
With, everything must go is how I'm looking at it.
Are you so okay? So are you leaving the cups there? Or are you bringing the cups with you?
We're opening the doors and saying, making offers.
The water cups thing really is something. Like I wasn't fully aware of it until, you know, then our family grows, obviously got a big family, and my wife is like, all of our kids have to have a water cup. They have to be hydrated. They must be hydrated at all times. And so all the kids have like 3, 4, we have a whole cabinet. We don't have a shed, you know, can't hide money. We don't have a shed for them, but we have this cabinet where we put all the cups, and it is just overflowing. It's bursting.
So do they have to have them like when? Is this like a just personal preference, or like, hey, when they go to church, they're supposed to bring their own water, like that kind of thing?
I think it's kind of both.
Okay.
So and the water cup technologies keep changing, and of course, you know, like the phalanges and hinges and all this stuff and whatever, you know, they get mold in them. Then you have to throw them out. You have to replace them. You know, and then you put them together, and it's like, it feels like I'm doing one of those Puzz 3D things, because I can't figure out what, you know, and sometimes I put, oh, God forbid, I put the wrong straw in the wrong cup, even though they're the same size and the same color.
It can get very messy.
You know, and every 2 years or so, you know, all the you know, it goes around, and all of the women tell each other, well, now this cup is a carcinogen, so you have to get rid of all of the. Well, we had 4 of them. It's okay. They were only $35 a piece, and now we get a new set of the cups for all the kids. And so meanwhile, I'm just over here drinking the bottled water, and I just throw the bottles away. I don't even recycle. How's that sound? I just drink it, and I throw it away. And but you know what? Sometimes I don't recycle, but I do reuse. Sometimes I'll just fill it back up.
Do you know that
tap
they
water,
say that's not good for you?
Tap water. I just fill it back up with tap water. Tell me why it's not good for me.
I don't know. Someone told me as I was refilling
Right.
mine one night in the choir room from the filtered water even. So, I mean, it was supposedly good. They're like, you know, that's not really safe to reuse a water bottle. And I was like, no, I didn't know
Is
that.
nothing safe anymore? Is nothing safe? Jared, do you even own a water bottle? I want to hear from these 2 other men in the
I have several
room.
water bottles, but I don't use them. I just drink plastic water.
Okay. So Jared really prefers the taste of microplastics. Dylan, what's your water bottle preference? Are you a water bottle guy?
I am. I'm currently on Amazon about to order a water bottle.
Are you
I mean,
kidding
I
me?
can
Did
see
we
it.
just?
No.
He really is.
We're
Come over here.
influencers.
Come over here.
Kirkwood,
We're
we're
officially
influencers.
influencers.
Pop up when you just start thinking about it.
Yes.
Yeah. So
But I'm looking in his office right now, and I see 2 Walmart
Yeah.
brand water bottles sitting on your desk.
that's my
Is that your usual go-to?
that's my
'Cause it's
personal
free?
that's my personal preference actually.
Yeah, that's what's here.
I'm a bit of a bottled water sommelier, and the water is excellent from Walmart, I must say. It's definitely at the right price. So I say all this to say I'm probably just months away from changing my mind and getting my own water bottle, and then I'll just be embarrassed and that
Well,
all
no,
of
but
this
you
rant
have a
will
water
be
bottle
meaningless.
because I bring it to you often from other parts
That's
of the
right.
church.
Hey, that's true. Before the water bottle revolution even started, there was a company that made what I still think is the best reusable water
you and
bottle.
Ken are on the same page. The
Can't
Nalgene?
really?
The
Yes,
Nalgene?
the Nalgene.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I would call him right now if I could, but I didn't bring my phone. But yes, huge
I
fan
am
of the
going to
Nalgene.
call him I'm going to call him right after this podcast, and we're going to bro out about the Nalgene. 32 ounces of glory. So easy to clean. It never spills. You screw the top back on. It's great. Fill that baby up with tap water. Make sure you get the original one with extra BPA. Tastes amazing.
I feel like we should have warned REI and Amazon maybe even that we were going to talk about this today.
I know,
There may
with
be
us
a
being
such an
influencers
influx.
and all. I don't even know what BPA stands for. Anyway, we're going to cut all that out. So let's start the podcast right now. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone.
Oh,
Great.
totally forgot.
Great to see you. And so I'm going to start, since we're now just starting the podcast, I'm going to start you didn't forget, you have a green pen. Just hold it.
yes.
Just hold it all day, and then no one will pinch you. When was the last time someone pinched you for
It's been
St.
a long
Patrick's
time.
Day?
I got pinched by Lacey this morning.
And right,
That doesn't
our
surprise
human
me.
resources person pinched someone.
It's like, what
to
does
know.
Lacey wear? I bet she's got a great
She has
green
She's probably
ensemble.
dressed full on as a
Green
leprechaun.
sweater, and Jeff is in green, literally head to toe. Like his shoes are.
Oh well,
Jeff
he's
is?
a Magookin.
Yeah, Jeff. Yeah,
That's
Jeff
exactly
is
what
serious.
he said.
The
It's
Magookin.
Magookin Day.
Jeff is serious about. We should have had him on the pod. What were we thinking?
Let's
We
give
should
him a
have.
call.
Get him
in here.
Tell him to come visit us
He's not
before the
going to.
end. Seriously, text him and tell him to come. We've got, the podcast just started, so we still have 45
I
minutes
feel
to
bad
go.
I did not remember it was St. Patrick's Day because I got a little game together for us, but it has nothing to do with St. Patrick's Day.
Okay.
Should I revisit that while you're talking?
No, I'm fine.
Say a prayer. That'll give me plenty of time to find something else.
Well played. Which, by the way, so yesterday, so this is the sermon recap podcast. So yesterday we had we had a parent-child dedication.
Yes.
And so there's always that kind of, there's like 3 or 4 seconds usually between when I say, Pastor, why don't you come up here? And then Pastor starts walking up. And so sometimes I get a little feisty and I like to say something in there and just see if Pastor will respond to it. And so we're about to dedicate our baby. And I said, Pastor, I'm going to come over here and stand with my family. Pastor, did I tell you that we had a baby? Which is ridiculous because, of course, we've talked about it every week. Mm-hmm. And he said, it doesn't matter if you did. Every time we have a dedication, we're dedicating one from your family. And, of course, the congregation just roars. I completely set myself up for that one.
You did.
Well played, Pastor. He left on a high note. He's on his way to Rome. So that was a really fun moment.
He's reliving that.
But it was a really great, can we talk about that for a minute? Yesterday, it was just a great day. We had the preschool and the children's choir.
Yes, which was very large.
Incredibly large. I can't wait to see the pictures from Sarah.
Yeah, Sarah I saw her running around getting pics. Thank you for doing that, Sarah Cook.
Yes, thank you. Friend of the show, Sarah Cook, excellent photographer. And that was, but that was only like half the story because we asked the students to form kind of an ad hoc student choir, which I think will be made more official in coming months. They came, a bunch of their leaders came. We added an extra section onto the risers, and that was still completely full.
Still had people on the floor.
Yes. Yeah, I guess we could figure out how to finagle and get a few more people if we had to. But it was a very full platform.
It was.
Really exciting day. We got to open the service with "As for me and my house," people proclaiming how we will serve the Lord from young to old.
So if you think about it, with the baby dedication, we had as young as like 1-year-old, maybe even younger yesterday,
we had like basically
being dedicated.
Infants. I mean, Faithy's only 4 months
We
old.
had infants all the way through. I think you said before our oldest in the choir is
Joe
late
Sizemore.
80s.
Joe Sizemore is about to turn 80.
Okay.
Which he actually wasn't there yesterday, but that was a praise because he and Chucha drove to Florida to avoid the storms.
Oh, okay.
Which was good because they live in Calera, which that was the hardest hit place in the area. Did they have an actual tornado or was it just the gale force winds?
I haven't seen the reports after where they're like, okay, this was officially a tornado. But I do think I saw Lacey's husband say that they thought it was an official tornado that touched down in the Calera area.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know that there were a few in the state of Alabama. It's just they didn't get as close as they did. There was that time, it was in 2021 where a legit tornado went through Eagle Point. And
Coming down 119, they were like, that's us.
This is for real. Talk us through what your storm prep routine was this past weekend. You and Ken got into your bomb shelter.
So we made sure that we had snacks that we might want.
Incredibly important.
So that was important. So we took care of that. And then, we do have a weather radio, and so Ken will just kind of keep that on. And if and when he starts hearing,
I've got to buy one of those.
Yeah, it's helpful because we were also watching Jason Simpson, just kind of going back and forth with him. But it does happen so fast that the radio's nice, so that if you are doing something else. But we went down to the basement whenever it called out our neighborhood. It was like Meadowbrook.
Yeah.
Brook Islands. I was like, well, that's us. So. We just went and hung out in the basement for a little bit.
That's what we did too, and we made it an event for the kids. I actually even moved the TV downstairs because we figured we might even have to put on a bed down there, and we put on Moana 2, which did not live up to the original. I don't know if you're a Moana fan at all. Yeah, it was okay, but I was just kind of looking at the live stream of the weather thing while we had that on. So it thankfully was pretty uneventful.
It was. The other part of our prep is we did make sure we had toys and blankets down in
for the dogs.
basement for the dogs.
Yeah. We also had, there was when we told the kids we were going to be down there for a while, I was sitting on the couch and I was just watching like an assembly line style thing of them continuing to take down more and more stuff. And I was like, after the fifth show, I was like, guys, I think we're
Hopefully
good.
it'll have to come back up at some point. So let's rein it
I
in.
think that we're good because my in-laws were staying with us too. That's where they sleep, and so their space was completely invaded with all the toys and coloring books and paraphernalia. Anyway, it ended up being fun and not stressful.
Thankfully, not too bad around us. Yeah, I mean, there were still some people that have got some recovery to do, but yeah.
And it seems like people from the church were well protected. So, and it helps that Jason's around to remind us to watch the weather. He actually did a little thing for the homeschoolers this past week. Was it just this past week? It might have been 2 weeks ago. And he talked about like how weather forms and tornadoes and that sort of thing. And I loved it because I remember like in public school going and you get to hear from meteorologists and stuff like that. I still have. So anyway, yeah, shout out to Jason Simpson for his good work this past weekend. And I confess, Jason, I'm sorry about this, but I did look over at the other JS on a different network just to see whether he'd taken his jacket off or not, because that's you always need to know. Did you see that meme I posted?
No.
The classic meme.
Shirtless James
The
Bay.
James Spann, when it's like he's got his jacket on, oh, it's just sunshine and rainbows. If he takes the jacket off, oh, things are getting serious. And then they photoshopped a picture of him not wearing a shirt.
Oh my goodness.
And it's like, no shirt. What is it, like, for the love of God, take shelter or something like that? Oh, boy. Anyway, it's St. Patrick's Day. So,
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
so to start things off, I want to turn us to a subject that we don't talk about very often, which is my height. I'm a very large
about it?
person, so I know, right? It shocked me as well. I'm a very large person, 6'6", usually push 6'7" once I put my shoes on,
Heels.
and I wear platform shoes since I am so. I think I just gave myself a cramp. So,
Medic,
because
please.
can we get some help in here? Wear platform shoes since I'm so insecure about my height. And then there's been this ongoing controversy, especially here on the podcast, about the color of my hair. And even yesterday was called out again. I think it was Corey Young actually was talking about how I was a ginger, which he just said in passing.
Really? He
Yes.
just threw it out there.
So he just threw it out there like it was nothing,
It's
you know.
fascinating.
But he's so hurtful. Anyway, so
I'm gonna Google, is Kirkwood Bullis a ginger?
well,
And I'll let you know
there's
that
no
much.
need to, because I'm finally, I hesitate to use the phrase coming out, but that's exactly what I'm doing. Here it is for St. Patty's Day 2025 officially. Here I am, the world's tallest leprechaun. Thank you, everyone. I feel free. I feel affirmed. So anyway, probably, Pastor, come back soon, because I'm
Please.
feeling kind of unhinged today. And thanks to Calvin Kelly for getting me that shirt.
Did he
It
really?
He sent that to me in the mail. It really made me laugh.
I
Okay.
don't see anything about your height on Google. That's so crazy.
That's so strange, what with my status as an influencer and all. So you said that we had a
Hold on. That incoming from Dylan Newton. Per AI, I couldn't find any reliable information on Kirkwood Bullis' hair color. If you're curious, you might check Valleydale Church's website or social media. For
wow,
photos.
AI, not bad, not bad. Okay, so you asked AI what my hair color? Oh my gosh. Okay, well, we're gonna have to cut all that out. Let's start the podcast right here. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone. Great to
Yeah,
see
just
you.
cut the previous
It's-
2 hours. Yes. The last 120 minutes, unusable.
Is Jeff gonna come? Please tell me Jeff is gonna come for this.
Him and Lacey, I haven't heard.
Please text her again. He needs to be in here immediately.
Okay, so I always have like a little
Yes, I
quizzy
love
thing
it
for
when you
So
do these
this
things. Yeah.
this is just preferences. So you can't get any answers wrong unless I disagree with you, I guess,
Okay,
and then
all
that
right.
could cause a problem.
Okay.
This is like the this or that.
Oh, okay. Wow.
I was thinking on the way in today, we should do a this or that spring edition, and I mean, you start typing in this or that, And Google's like, spring edition? I'm like, yes, that's the one.
This or that spring edition. Spring is on the horizon.
It is on the horizon, but it just felt very springy, especially on Friday when I was outside most of the day. It was a fabulous day.
Does spring on the 22nd? Is that going to be Friday? Is it Friday or Saturday is the first day of spring?
It is Thursday, March 20th.
I knew you were going to say Thursday. The 20th, that's weird.
Thursday,
Okay.
March 20th.
Is that the spring solstice?
It is the spring equinox.
Get this wrong every
Yeah,
year.
Yeah.
This or that, I prefer the equinox to the solstice. So anyway, that's the first one.
I'm going to send this to you too because this is something you can play with your kids later.
Okay, I'll definitely do that.
These are all just nonsensical. You ready? We're going to do like a rapid fire.
Okay, all right.
Jump in puddles or roll down a grassy hill.
Roll down the grassy
Have
hill.
the ability to make flowers grow or slide down rainbows.
Slide down rainbows.
Watch clouds go by or dance in the rain.
I'm gonna watch the clouds.
Spend a morning garage sailing or reading on the porch.
Garage, yeah.
Oh,
I just saw myself on top of a garage
Sail.
with a sail. I guess because I'm already sliding down rainbows.
My question is though, am I throwing the garage sale? Am
Yes.
I hosting the garage sale, or am I shopping garage sales? Because hosting garage sales is one of my least favorite activities ever.
Agreed. What's the other thing I can do?
Reading on the porch.
I'll take reading on the porch
Yeah.
as long as I'm outside. If it was on reading on the couch, I'd take the garage sailing. I got to be outside.
Gotcha. Thunderstorms or clear skies.
Oh, clear skies for sure.
Discover ants in your house or a bee in your bedroom.
Oh wow, what would you say?
I'd say bee in the bedroom because it's one bee.
Yeah.
And it can be smacked. Ants are so hard to get rid
Yeah,
of.
I'll take the bee as well. That is practical. We
had
had a wasp in the office last week.
I know, and Tommy killed it. Did you know Tommy took it out?
I know. I need to give her a hug for that because wasps, they come right at my face.
Yes.
I don't know if it's the beard. Do they come at your face or is it
It's
just me?
gingers.
It's been fun hanging out with you guys today. All right.
All right, here's a good one. And I know what your answer is going to be, but I also know what your answer would be. Play frisbee golf or play pickleball.
Oh, frisbee golf.
Pickleball. Right,
Yeah,
Dylan?
frisbee
Okay.
golf. But I have a feeling I would love pickleball. I just have never played. So
Well, you got to go with us sometime.
I do need
Very low.
We have fun.
I do need to make that happen. I'm loving frisbee golf though.
So I thought for just a second this said be a rabbi or be a bird for a day, but it does say be a rabbit or be a bird for a day.
It would be really interesting to be a rabbi, you know. As long as I don't have to do any circumcisions, I feel like that whole. Is that too far?
Okay,
I
how
thought
about
that
a
was gonna
rabbit
be
or a
funny.
bird?
I'm going to take the bird. I want to experience flight.
Right. It still is just
Yeah.
shocking to me how light birds are. Like you
Right.
see them land on a limb and the limb just doesn't move, but it looks like a
They
decent
look
sized bird.
substantial.
Yeah.
We went to the Cook's Pest Control Museum. Do you know that this
Did
exists?
not know it existed.
So it's not a museum about pest control. It's a natural history museum that's sponsored by the Cook's family. I think it's in Decatur. Really, really excellent, great family
Interesting.
experience. Why do I bring it up? Because they have a display that's talking exactly what you're talking about. And they have a hummingbird that I guess has been, what do you say,
Like taxidermy?
Thank you. Yeah. So they have a but obviously it's the same weight as the hummingbird was in life, and they have it on scales with a penny, and it's the same
wild.
weight.
It's
A
wild.
penny.
I know. It's really interesting. Birds are really interesting. I think I have officially entered my bird watch / which bird is singing that song era.
Yes.
That's
You need to hang out with my wife because she's been ever since COVID. She has been laser focused
Okay.
on all of
All right.
this.
You and Ken can talk about the
Fanny packs.
Nalgenes.
Oh, the Nalgenes. Right.
And
Right.
we'll talk about birds.
Ken and I need to make a music video where both of us are just strutting down the street, like with a huge Nalgene with a fanny pack over the shoulder, Ray-Bans on. It'd be great. Obviously, I can't decide if it would be smooth jazz or gangster rap. We'll decide later on.
I think the latter.
Is
I'll
Jeff
let you
coming
guys
to
figure
this?
it
I
out.
keep seeing someone out. What?
I think that was Pike. I'm just laughing at how badly you want Jeff to show up.
So desperate.
And my hope, Jared, is if he does show up, that in the final product of this,
It's just-
he will materialize. Okay, if he walks in the door and stands here, great. But in the recap, it'll just be
I can do that.
okay. All right, let's see, flip flops or sandals?
Oh, flip flops.
Live in a giant birdhouse or a giant bunny burrow. Sorry.
Oh wow, I'm taking the birdhouse. I want to see the sun.
Sing in the rain or dance in the rain? You're singing rain.
I wish I could dance in the rain though, but I'm gonna sing. Yeah, the dancing's not gonna look as good.
Go on a picnic or have a big barbecue?
I'm actually gonna take the barbecue,
right.
but just because of the preparation.
What's your go-to grill? What are you a grill master of?
You know what I've gotten good at is pork tenderloin.
It's a good one.
Yeah, because there's something about the crispiness of the outside. It's so good. And I think we're doing pork chops this week, man.
Nice.
So anyway, I don't have a grill master type grill. It's usually me moving around to keep it away from the open flames because everything's rusted out. But it's still a lot of fun.
All right, since basketball is not an option in this question, I'll be interested in your answer. Be a star baseball player or a star soccer player?
Oh, baseball for sure. That's no contest.
Okay.
No
Is
contest.
it because soccer players have to do all that running?
Just because soccer isn't a true American sport. It's just baseball's the national pastime, and it still is. Okay, we had my son just started playing baseball this year, and our whole family is loving it. Just going out and being at the baseball field.
It is fun.
Again, the recurring theme of you get to be outside, which is so
Yes.
nice.
Have you taken them to a Barons game yet?
A long time ago we
Yeah.
did, but we need to go again.
It's fun.
Yeah, it is. It's a good experience. You know what? That's another hot take. You probably share this with me. Most of the time, the minor league baseball experience is superior. For families, it's superior to the major league.
Agreed. It's just super laid back.
Yeah.
Yeah. However, have I ever told you the story about when Ken took me to my first Braves game?
No, tell me.
Okay. We had just gotten married, which means I had just moved to Atlanta. He
So
and I
you
dated
got-
long distance the whole time we were
They
dating
moved
and
into
engaged.
Turner Field in '96, so this is Turner Field.
This
yeah.
was at Turner Field.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Ken worked for Turner Broadcast for
Oh,
many
that's right.
years.
That's right.
So he got tickets a lot. He got tickets at work one day, took me to my first Braves game. And as we're walking into the stadium, they have, there's a radio station or whatever out there. And they were like, we're looking for newlyweds to play a game. And we were like, we're newlyweds. So we went and did it, played the game. We won.
Yeah, of course you did.
And so I got to go into one of those cash machines. It's
Were you
like blowing around, yes. And as newlyweds, we were very excited because I got more than enough money to buy our hot dogs and our drinks and all that stuff for the night. So anyway,
That's
a fun
great.
little memory.
That must have been a really interesting experience, just grabbing.
Oh,
the cash.
it was weird. Yeah, I mean, especially because you're in a clear tube
And your
everyone
hair is
watching
blowing
you.
everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen that? There's this. Apparently, the hack for those things is just to put your arms like this.
I have, yes.
And you watch it, and all the money just goes right.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that's really,
Just have to
it's
have
really
a place for it to
interesting.
land. Yeah.
I guess that's why they retired those because everybody knows how to cheat the
Everybody's hacked
system
it,
now.
yeah. All right. Do you want one more? Or you're
Let's do one. Let's do one more, and then I guess we're gonna have to cut transmission because
All
I
right.
don't think Jeff
This
is
one
coming.
could be very
Makes me really
practical
sad.
as well. Umbrella or jacket?
So, I'm going umbrella, even though that's not what I actually do in real life. But here's the thing, and Rick Burgess, you frustrated me deeply with this because his whole thing is men don't run in the rain.
No.
It's a thing. Have you
Okay.
heard this, Jared? Okay, because Rick Burgess tells the story of his dad, he was with his dad, and he goes to run to the car because it's pouring down rain, and his dad does the in front of him, and just looks at him. Not even me, just men don't run in the rain, and they just walk and get completely
Yes.
soaked on the way to the car.
Okay.
And so now for Rick, it's like a bit. And so every time it rains, I just send him a video of me slowly walking to my car in the rain. But I don't really like it, Rick. I have to confess that to you. I don't enjoy that feeling of being wet when I'm not supposed to.
I think I always wonder how much less wet are you getting if you run?
That's
Now,
a
as
really
slowly as
interesting
you
question.
walk, it's probably That's not a dig. You're a slow walker, and I'm a fast walker.
You are
I
a
can
fast
happily admit
walker.
that.
One of these days we need to do the podcast like West Wing style, like walk and talk, where we just like the whole time we're just.
Where I'm leading out front and you're slowly walking behind me. Sounds like a plan. Let's get on that, Jared.
Like a plan.
All right, now this will segue into the sermon recap
Great.
because I'm looking through my notes. Do you know how to spell Nicanor? I bet you do.
Nicanor?
Nicanor Gate.
No, I didn't even look it up. So you're probably going to be more studied than me. Here's how I would spell it.
Okay,
I would spell it Nicanor.
you'd be correct.
Oh, really? Oh,
You'd
I
be
thought it was like
correct.
a
No.
trick question.
I was just kind of laughing at myself though because I was kind of like, Nicanora. I just put enough down to be able to look it up because I wanted to see what he was talking about. I
Yeah.
wanted
So
to
what
look
did
up
you
the
find?
images.
Oh, the image in particular.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I found some interesting drawings and stuff.
So talk us back through that illustration, and then we'll use that as a jumping off.
I mean, he was
point.
just talking about how important doors are in
Uh-huh.
our society. I mean, like people notice them. They have been like gifts that I didn't know that the one at St. Peter's Basilica is only open every 25 years in the year of Jubilee. I had
Right.
never heard that. That's really
It
interesting.
is interesting. Yeah.
And he talks about all these amazing, famous doors that have come through history, including Buckingham Palace gates, of course. But then he says, Jesus says, "I am the door."
The door.
He makes
the only
that
one.
the clarification of the only way.
Yeah, he had a lot of really rich illustrations, which and that was helpful for me, especially because your mind always grabs onto the illustrations, and I was in and out all day yesterday with the different choirs and with the dedication. But his follow up to all of the really ornate doors and everything was. But I'll tell you what my favorite door was. And when he said that, I immediately mumbled to myself, "Oh, he's going to talk about the doors in Wittenberg where Martin Luther nailed the thing." And I was
Talked about the back door.
completely wrong.
Yeah.
He just talked about the back door of his
And that was
parents' house.
sweet.
It
And
was.
I get that feeling. Like it immediately made me think my grandparents lived right next door to us. And I mean, I love to go visit them anyway, but
Yeah.
one of the reasons I would always go visit my mama, is what I called her, is because her sweet tea was 50% sugar. And
At
so
least.
I'd walk over, I can smell and
Yeah.
feel and hear everything about opening that screen door to go in the back door. She always had something on the stove with the valve clicking on the pot. So that sound is very synonymous, but yeah.
And it's very quiet in the house except for that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, unless
right.
Price is Right was on.
Sure.
If it was
sure.
Price is Right time, then that was going to be on for sure. But
It's so interesting because I didn't even think about this yesterday, but yeah, I for 6 or 7 years we lived next door to my grandparents, and like their door was a sliding door. You had to go through two because you always went through the sun porch and then into the house, and the westerns were on, and yeah, that's so funny. Yeah, the doors that you remember. That's a really interesting question. He also talked, and earlier in the message, something that really got my attention was how how the metaphors work together. The shepherd also is in control of the door for the sheep.
yes.
And I had never thought about that before. Obviously, it's right there in the text, but sometimes, I just need somebody to show that to me, a lot of times. And then he talked about how when the door is shut for the sheep, all of the dangers that it keeps out.
Yes.
And we don't think about that a lot. Like that the door of protection. He's guarding the sheep. There's a gate around the sheep. And I don't know if he said this, he really talked. So I'll say what he said, and then I'll add something to it. He said how that gate, it shuts out the outside world. It shuts away your past.
Yes.
So stop bringing that into the present, because God in Christ has forgotten those previous sins, which is as a core gospel truth, utterly biblical. I was so glad that he said that.
That's so good. And if that is coming into your present circumstances, that's not of the Lord.
That's right.
That's the enemy who has not come through the door.
Right.
He is, he
And
has
that's an interesting
climbed
way.
over and-
Well, and that's also in the text, like that the enemy. It's interesting how, even though the Lord has complete authority over the enemy in this life is afforded some amount of freedom, and he'll come in and still be seeking to steal and kill and destroy, and we have to watch out for that. It seems like the gate, though, along with the fence around it, could also be seen as, like, if you're in Christ and under his protection, you're also gated in by the law of Christ. Love the Lord with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. Love your neighbor as yourself, and not to see those things as burdens or duties that frustrate you, but rather part of joy that protects you in obedience.
Right. I've said that so many times about the Ten Commandments. It's interesting to me. Because we're sinful and because we live in a fallen world, we find rules to be limiting and
Right.
But if you just take each one on their own, they're really common sense. It's one of those things. I've said before, you believe in God, you don't believe in God. I want you to believe in God, but even if you don't, doesn't it make sense that your life is going to be better off if you don't murder people?
Well, that's a good apologetic for the existence of God, because the way that he's not only ordered the world around us, but also it's evidence of his image within us, that our deepest desires, the way that our heart, even if we constantly do the wrong thing, our heart knows the right thing. Why is that? Well, because we have a consistent creator. So, no, we shouldn't see those rules as burdensome. The Bible says that his commandments are not burdensome. Jesus says, my yoke is easy and my burden is light. And unfortunately, we're living in a world where we're being told, the voice of the world right now is so blatantly, these rules are not common sense. You are wrong.
Yes.
This code that you've lived by, this morality that you feel somewhere in yourself, that's actually wrong. You need to cast all of that aside.
Yeah.
So
and honestly, it's kind of like a push to just live by your emotions, or whatever your imagination can conjure up for what is good or fun or helpful for you, and that's a scary thought. I can be pretty creative, and
me too. Well, and then what do you end up with? You can go back to Jesus' analogy. You end up with sheep without a shepherd. You end up with sheep that stray away from the pasture, this source of nourishment and community, this source where there's a helpful and benevolent authority, and instead they're running away. A sheep tries to become a shepherd and is not equipped to do so. Also, none of the other sheep want to follow a sheep. So Jesus knows what he's talking about. It's an analogy that was perhaps even more relevant at the time, where people, owned livestock more readily, but still applies to us today. All right, well, let's wrap things up there. I'm glad we got to talk some about the message. I'm so glad that we cut out that first 30 minutes, and that no one will ever see any of that.
We'll release that as exclusive,
special director's cut,
never before seen footage in a couple of months.
Okay, so I'm going to wrap us up here, and I'm immediately going to the executive suite, where I'm going to take a picture of whatever Jeff is wearing today, and we're going to make sure that that becomes a part of this video in some way, shape, or form. Thanks for hanging out with us today on the sermon recap. Pray for Pastor as he travels. We're going to see you Wednesday night. Make sure you're here this Wednesday night, because there's no midweek the following week. Anything else you want to update us on? Oh, illustrious communications
Valley
director.
Del FX, I believe it's our first ever.
It is on April 27th.
Geared towards families, and how do we know that what the Bible says is true? So you can find information about that on the website. There's no registration required, but
oh, cool.
We'd love for you to be here, and our Chuck McCammon.
Our Chuck McCammon.
I don't know what's the title.
Oh, yeah, he changed titles, but we're going to figure that out.
Anyway, Chuck McCammon, that's his event. Women, there's a women's conference coming up on April 12th. Registration's open for that. I don't remember the exact cutoff, but somewhere around the end of March is the cutoff to get a T-shirt with your registration, or at least get the size.
Is the Good Friday meal registration open yet?
Good Friday meal registration.
Okay. People need to sign up for
Is
that.
open? Yes, it is for sure.
That's actually something that will fill up. So if you want to eat with us at Good Friday, you should get on that right away.
Yeah.
All right, that's everything.
Are we still gonna change, do we wanna change that?
Yes,
Are we gonna
let's
deliver on
let's.
that?
Oh
Okay.
yeah. I'm glad that was hours ago. So here we go. St. Patty's Day, you filthy animals. Say goodbye, Joanna.
Goodbye, Joanna. Oh my god.
And I look like related.
Do you want to, does this need to be our title
That
card?
is so bad.
I feel like you need to stand. I'm not getting the full,
You gotta see the crop.
yeah.
Nobody's gonna think anything of what I'm wearing. It just looks
I
like
can see it.
a big jacket.
That's good.
This is terrible. We can't post this,
Looks like a
right?
Bear jacket on you.
I hope I didn't like irrevocably stretch this out.